Gloves, 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 gloves. Okay, touching filthy MacBooks without gloves. Might get MacBookitis. Worse, MacBook pneumonia. Pedro's suffering at the moment. Martin, Alexandra, Ed, Teresa, laptop. Hey, Defcom. Jeho, Thomas, Antonio, Pedro, of course. Living Pedro as opposed to almost dead Pedro. Hey, Q's. Mark and Jurgen. Alright, I've got to get this thing back together. This was just an early recovery in the day. Thankfully it worked. It was a bit of an interesting one actually. But at the end of it, I've still got to put all the damn screws back in. So many screws in these things. I got to say though, at least they're not like those new 15-inch Airs, the what is it, 3114s or whatever they are. Horrible, horrible things. The fact that you have to peel off the thermal shield and things like that just to get access to the computer, it's ridiculous. Yeah, why do I feel like I've got an absence of, all the lights are on, yet I feel like I have an absence of light. Hey David, Draco's here. Hey Draco. Spent my afternoon mowing lawn, being an old man, yelling at neighbours. Just trying to strategize my way around stopping a person who lives down the road from annoying me. Because we have this, it is an official road as it were, but it's a dirt road and it runs down past the side of the house, and it's very much bush grass out there, grows very fast, it's thick, it's nasty stuff. And over the years I've just been keeping about 10-12 meters of it from my fence under control. And then there's this dirt road that runs through, never been a problem. But recently the grass has sort of grown up across that dirt road, and so they're starting to drive over my verge that I mow. And it realistically, look, this is why I'm saying it's an old man syndrome thing. In the big picture of things, it's a meaningless thing. But now I've got these tire tracks developing through my mowed section, and yeah, it's just more annoying. So if they want to drive through that section, they don't even have to. It's not their only access. There actually is a proper access from the main street, but they're taking the shortcut. So if they want that, they can mow that section, and they previously have mowed that section. It's like, oh, yep, fair enough. I can't stop you from using that back road, so you mow it, you use it. But they've stopped mowing it, and they decided, no, look, Paul Daniels mows his verge, nice and wide. We go over that. Anyway, so today I said, fine, screw it. And I only mowed out to about 8 meters from the fence. And mind you, this fence is about 100 meters long, so yeah, 800 meters. And that falls short of where the tire tracks are. And then I'll put, pallet blocks on the way, because it's like, hey, don't drive over this section. You can have the bit now that I'm no longer going to mow. It's all yours. You can drive over that if you want. But don't come over the section that I'm keeping good and proper. Some big rocks, yeah. That's one of the thoughts. And to add insult to injury, there is a small flowering shrub, a morning star shrub. Actually, it's not even a shrub, it's more like just a creeper on the corner of our driveway, and it's meaningful to me because it's the star of my cat that unfortunately was run over on the road many, many years ago now. Jinx was his name. So yeah, I grow that there. It's one of those associations you kind of make as the years go on, and it's right on the gutter corner. And lately, I've found that people are riding up onto our, again, off the main road, riding up onto our lawn off the gutter. And even though everything's mowed and this shrub is showing up and it's got the beautiful flowers and all, bloody couriers just rode straight over it. No, almost ripped it completely out. And I was like, what the frick? And I thought, okay, it was a one-off bad mistake. Yeah, they didn't see it, whatever. So, it grows a little more and I'm mowing around. It's all very clear. And again, he does it. It's like, what the fuck is with people and their lack of awareness? It's like, yeah, I'm just going to drive my truck right through your lawn and the yard and drive over everything. You literally do have to put bollards and stuff like that just to stop people being people. Concrete wombats, yeah, they'll work. Yeah, Jinx was quite a long time ago. I think it'd be 13, 14 years ago now. Still gets me. And yeah, so yeah, anyway, these things happen. The important thing is that you learn from it and you do something about it, and that's what we did. And that's when we started the process of building all the fencing around the house. To be fair, back then there was barely one car every half hour around this road, but it has become a lot busier. So we're very glad that we invested the time and money into building the fences around here now. Yeah, Pedro, they just don't think. They're just like, oh yeah, I'll just ride over this. And then the only way you can counter it, you can't discuss it with them or anything. They're like, oh, what are you doing? What's your problem? The only way you can encounter it is by basically finding some way to physically block them or redirect them or something like that without actually having to discuss it with them, because you can't discuss it with these people, because the fact that they've done it in the first place usually indicates that they're not even conscious of their actions. Anyway, here I am sounding like some sort of self-help guru. It's just annoying because it was like, wow, that's one shrub growing there and you can see that it's maintained and you still managed to run over it. So bravo. Yeah, Martin, I could appreciate that, except, we've got a wide road. Well, that's the other thing. It actually is more effort to ride up onto the curb, onto the grass, and more damage to their vehicle than it is to just simply park right out front, which is exactly what everyone else does. Everyone else just parks out front, no problem. But for some reason, this one person just drives their vehicle up onto the frickin' gutter and everything. And it's got to stuff your rims up and all. They do it. I also do get some customers who do that. It really pisses me off. So why the fuck are you driving up onto the gutter? The road is wide. It's like there is no reason for you to drive up on here. It's often people with big four-wheel drives. Like, look, finally a chance to drive up on a gutter. Make my four-wheel drive do what it's meant to do. Four-wheel driving things. Yeah. It's a good thing they can't hear me when I cuss at them from the inside. So seriously, where did you people get your brains from? Same place you got your licenses? Weet-Bix packet? Cornflakes packet? Take your pick. Not everyone is smart. It's just sad that you don't even have to be smart to do that. You just got to be considerate. You just got to have a little bit of self projection or something like, hey, how would I feel if I ran over? Yeah. Instead, it's just like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Rightio, we're off to a good start. Good start. At least it's helping me get through this reassembly, because this reassembly sucks. Because it's a protracted assembly, it's a lot of little itsy bitsy pieces. It can get annoying. Yeah, Thomas, that's quite true. It's a status symbol more than anything else. I mean, out here, yeah, I mean, four-wheel drives are pretty much needed in a lot of places out here. But realistically, 99% of the people who buy them or get them don't use them for that. There are a bunch of young fellas out here who do have their four-wheel drives, but to be fair, they do end up sort of going, well, we've got our four-wheel drive, what are we going to do with it now? And so they go find trails and things like that. You know, they practice getting themselves bogged and then unbogging themselves. Yeah, it keeps them entertained, I guess. I find the ones that are the ones who genuinely have bought it for the right purposes, their vehicle is usually extremely understated. They've just got a bog standard BT50 or something like that. You know, there's no bling on it or anything. Maybe a bumper bar and maybe a spotlight, but yeah, there's no fancy stuff on it. It's just like, I'm doing the job, getting on with it. Alright. Anyway, like I said, old man syndrome creeping in here. I'm gonna start yelling at clouds soon. I guess the reason why it creeps up to you more when you get older is you just kind of start to get a little sick of it. Because you've sort of been putting up with it all your life, and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And then eventually you're like, that's it, I've had it with you. And that's when you go postal on people. And then people are shocked and they're like, wow, he was always such a quiet person. You know, you never thought he'd hurt anyone. It's like, yeah, that's because all their life they were being hurt by other people and they finally decided, payback. Alright. Hey, Jim. Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just starting, okay? I've got training wheels on. Don't make me get cranky with you, Jim. I got lots of friends, Galar friends up here. Why isn't this clipping? Oh, you got to be kidding me. My pedantic nature says that because this is not clipping in at the side, I've got to take it all apart and find out why. Hey, Mr. Bodger. Actually, our cockatoos and galahs are not very happy around here at the moment, Jim, because the recent storms, particularly we had a downburst or a microburst or whatever they want to call them, and it has knocked down a considerable number of really big gum trees around here that they used to just, you know, that was their daily sort of thing, and now they're all gone, and they're not happy about that. Yeah, why didn't you want to clip in? So you see them flying up to the trees of old, and there's not much left of them. No. Oh, jeez, what did I just do? You did dumb. I just did dumb shit. I've made it worse for myself, folks. Made it worse. Yeah, nest trees. Oh, there we go. Finally, got that clipped. Woo. So we had the one next door and it just came down in a lot of pieces. It was a big one. We were very fortunate nobody's property got hurt or anything like that. So that was very fortunate, but definitely they are missing the presence of it. And then there's a group of 4 down the road, and 2 of those have been taken down as well. So it's not good. Yeah, we do have a reasonable number of trees in general, but not those sort of gum trees that they like. But you know what they're like, they're brittle trees. Once they get to a certain age, the wind comes along, blows hard, and then boom, it's all over. So verify this power's up. Yeah, I try not to entertain such thoughts too often. I said maybe they've got a legit reason for what they're doing, but see, the thing is, they used to actually ride their ride-on mower down the road and clear the center line of where they were driving so that they wouldn't get grass and stuff into their engine bay. And they stopped doing that and they just started going onto my section, and I was like, what? I mean, strictly speaking, I don't own it, but at the same time, you're sort of obligated to maintain it. It's kind of like part of council regulations, so it's a grey area. Okay, this is working great. No problem at all. Alrighty, now we get onto an actual machine to fix. Hey Joey, welcome. Alright, what do we got? No. We've got a couple of machines stacked here. No, you're too early. You're too early. No, I want to get back to you, but I can't. Okay, I've got a machine missing. Where is TDR5? Ah, there you are. Okay, so what is this? This is a 1990, no power. Now, coming from the place where this comes from, but then again, being a 1990, I wouldn't power it up anyway. But this is going to be for data recovery. But to be fair, with things like 1990s and 2141s, you're either going to get them back or you're not. So, unless it's a liquid situation where you go, okay, well look, the trackpad, the keyboard, the screen are dead or whatever, in which case put in another chassis, back it up, and then turf it. But these ones are generally just dead from dust deaths. Okay. Oh, Miles, this is my bread and butter work. I'm very happy for it, to be honest. Particularly this sort of type of customer-client relationship I have, because it's not a repair for the sake of making it usable again. It's a repair of, we just want the data, and then it gets turfed, for the most part. Okay, so we're going to check the Schmandy Nandies, which of course in this case being a 1990, I'm sitting here thinking of a 2141. 0.2 ohms, which very hard short. This will probably be 8014, I think it is, or 8094. and it rests on the other side of this section here. It's almost always corroded on the 1990. But removing it is not always the solution. I mean, obviously you've got to remove it, but what I mean is just removing it will not always result in success. Now, I'm sincerely hoping it is a just removable one, because I could do with jobs like that. Very nice to have those kind of jobs. Hey, Dunmrez. But unfortunately, with 1990s and that particular capacitor, it's lifting up the standoff. I hate that. They do have a bad tendency to start burning through the logic board, and that's when drama happens. Yeah, we'll get it out and we'll make the assessment. I'm trying very hard to be a little stricter with my no-fix situation. I mean, it's a constant battle of making sure you're fast to get to the no-fix outcome. Either you can fix it quick or don't fix it quick. But don't get suckered into the entertaining rabbit holes too often. Not going to happen likely, Miles. I redirect people to other places that will do that for several $1,000s. And I'm okay with that. But it is fun watching people grumble initially about what the cost is going to be to try and repair it initially. They're like, yeah. And then when it comes up to the situation of like, the data is really important, but you do have an internal logic board fault, or you're going to have a NAND transplant and things like that. And they're like, oh, what's it going to cost? And you're like, well, typical sort of cost is $3,000 to $5,000, depending on where you go. And then all of a sudden, my pricing seems awfully nice, but it's too late. It's all relative. Joey, you're streaming tonight, aren't you? What are you doing tonight? Anything interesting? Any more switches? Hey, Electro Rip. Just saw you sneaking in there at the background. Okie dokie doke. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Big time. I just realised I did not run this job with the new sticker. Blame all ye distracting people. There we go. Okay. New job code coming up, even though it doesn't show. There's one almighty dusty machine. Okay, so this is the classic corner that it happens on. We're going to use our fume extractor as a inappropriate vacuum cleaner. It just means I've got to change the filter a little more frequently. Okay, the other thing we have to do is take that standoff off before I forget about it, and then it gets snagged on something. If it gets snagged on something, I could do some damage. Just going to put that straight back onto the chassis. It belongs up there. Let's see, where are you? Okay, all good. Now I don't have to think about that. Hey, Lappa-san. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, yep. This corner down here is the classic A1990. It was quite a relief when we first started getting A1990s and we started seeing this kind of damage on a regular basis. Okay, so this is borderline. It could well be too far, actually. I think there's a bit of puffing up. Certainly those two are gone, but yeah, that's shorted there, which will reflect on here. Hey, Christy, welcome. So, right, yeah, so this should beep. You're not beeping? Oh, that's bad news. That's bad news. Okay, so these ones are beeping. That's worse. Where is it? What's going on? Yeah, I thought as much. Alright, so that's a bit of bad news because that's 2v5 side. That is the side that is actually the NAND itself. And it's bad news in combination with how bad this cap is. I'm surprised this cap didn't take out PV bus already. That's on the main PV bus G3 hop basically. Ideally what you want is you want that to go short and stop the machine before anything else goes wrong. But sometimes what happens is they survive without, well, they die without shorting out. But the junk then just sticks around and it still gets hot and it starts eating its way through, carbonizing the resin layer. And then these ones start getting hit and it turns into a great big disaster. Anyway, we'll see how we go. All we can do is try. Unlike stupid Yoda with his do or do not, there's no try. It's like, yeah, whatever. Look what your yabbering caused. Ah, damn it, my tweezers are mangled. Better fix those up. Good enough. I've also got Tim Herman's flux here too. I need to put a different nozzle on it though because I usually use an olive colour tip, but it's kind of oozing too much out of the tip. Oh, jeez, yeah, it just fell off. Come here, buddy. Yeah, so that's a little bit concerning there. There's our surgical blade. Gonna have to do some debriding. Yes, it's... Okay, we might be lucky and it hasn't actually started to eat. It's no problem that we can't put a NAND back on there, cap back on there because we just put it here. So if we're lucky it's one of these two, so we'll take them off, see if that short goes away. Fingers crossed. Get out of here. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, they needed replacing anyway, but it's not good. The upside is that the chip itself, it doesn't have any sort of burnishing marks or indications that it's gotten hot. So it's a slight bit of hope, but it does mean we've got the problem of finding where is this 2v5 short. And what I should have checked is, has the resistance changed? Because if it's now gone from 0.2 to say 3, then the NANDs are dead. Okay, we're still sub 1 ohm, so there's some hope. But yeah, what can happen is you do have the caps that are shorted. You remove those caps, and one of them indeed is shorted, but the damage has already been done to the NAND, and it will go from, say, a sub 1 ohm short up to a 3 ohm short. The other possibility is that we do actually have an inboard short, which is quite likely. Oh man. Don't like it when it starts playing this with me. Okie dokie doke. So this is a 1041 board. And so we removed this one simply because it was burnt. But this is where we've got the short. So yeah, there's not really many over here that tend to be a problem. We can go to the other side of the board. And we've got this group of 4 here, so maybe one of those. If we're lucky, one of these ones have failed. If it's neither of those, then it's probably an internal board short. Error 21. Don't know off the top of my head, sorry. Not very good with those ones. Hey, John Samuels. Admittingly, would be very surprised if it is the controller chip, because it looks like to be in pretty good condition. Hey, DJ Rusty Russ, thank you for the 10. I'll call it 10 bucks. I think it's fair. Oh, I think we got lucky. Then again, maybe not. Raise up my hopes. I'm just kind of hoping it's one of those 4 caps at the end there. No, that one looks clean. Damn it. No, none of those look damaged. And the chip itself doesn't even look damaged. You know how I feel about removing chips that don't look damaged. I don't like doing it. 90% of the time, they're not damaged. So all you've done is just create extra work for yourself and increase the risk of issues. None of that's 2v5. Wow. I generally don't like to inject on these ones too much. Okay, you're a bit of a dodgy cap, but you're not really part of the equation. You'll have to be fixed, but you're not part of the situation, and there's a bit of corrosion on that. But I am starting to feel like this is going to be an internal board short. It's just sort of got that feel. And the only way I'm going to be able to prove that is with injection in most cases. What is sort of pushing me there is the fact that everything else looks pretty damn good. Well, I guess I'll take that cluster of 4 caps off. We're just going to eliminate all the caps that are on that rail. But I do feel like it's not going to be fixing it. Do you think there were marks on the Orkona? You're talking about the TPS, right? Oh, next to the holes, right? Yeah, like I said, it's not really going to come into play yet. This is some of Tim's flux, by the way. It's sort of like that child-safe glue that you get as a kid, that like gel glue or whatever. But the nice thing is, it definitely smells like pine, so I'm pretty sure he's using legit crap. What do you call it? Pine resin. What do you call the name? What's pine resin called? Rosin, that's it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I'd say he's probably using rosin in it, genuine rosin. Oh wow, it was one of those caps. Oh, what a lucky day. It's a little low though, but it's coming up, and I think that's just because of the heat. I can't believe it was one of those caps. I'm gonna have to look at it closer now. That is a lucky day. Anyone want to take a guess which one it is? Because honestly, without separating them at this point, I would not be able to tell. I'm also very annoyed that I'm getting a vibration through the camera, through the assembly, and I don't know where it's coming from. Probably a cable just touching it. Hey, 10 minute. Nice to see you. Well, I guess we'll take a moment and separate these and find out which one was which. I mean, it seems fair, right? It's worth doing. I'm trying to work out how I'm actually going to do this. Oh. It's okay, I got him. Okay, we've got a 2x2 split now. 50-50. I guess we can measure them. See which half it is. Hey, Mr. TechFix, we've got a 1990 up first. And that feels like open. Okay, so it's in this half. I'm thinking this top one maybe. Yep, binary search for beginners. It's a good example, a good practical demonstration of it. There, I think I just saw it. No. Alright, 50-50. Top or bottom? 1 or 2? One or two? What are you going for? To be honest, there hasn't really been a lot of visual cues, so it's all a guess either way. We got 50-50 on the choices too. It's the bottom one. But that stuff there, that was just junk. It wasn't actually... I think... Is that it? Honestly, that's a very clean failure no matter what. Platform 3 3/4. I thought it was 9 3/4. Hey, Christian? Is that a split line there? Oh yeah, that's... Sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's a split or whether it's just where the wave, the soldering stopped. Yeah, I think that's a intriguing kind of end split, that one. There's no way to see that visually. That pretty much is our only indicator. It has not propagated anywhere else visually. Yeah, well, we found it. Just goes to show that they can crack and die, but not always in a very visual way. Well, that was definitely very lucky of the person. I'd say they are best not to go out investing in any lottery tickets because they've used up all their luck. Now, of course, we do have to reinstall those caps. It's these ones up here, and they're 20 microfarad, 10 volt, 402s. An absolutely ridiculous capacitor value for that size, but that's what it is. Looks like someone needs to get a few more. Get ourselves some of Tim's school glue flux. I will say this much, it certainly smells a lot nicer when it's smoking off. Not that it smokes much at all, to be honest. It smells a lot nicer than the other stuff. It doesn't really smoke up much. And when it does burn off, it doesn't leave behind any... what do you call it? Doesn't seem to leave behind any really difficult residue yet. I've only just been using it since this afternoon, so this is not by any means a definitive analysis of it. It's just what I've experienced so far. And I just realized I am better off putting some fresh solder down. Oh, Q's, that's coming through OB data. Yeah, basically, when I had time, I went along and put all the values in for common boards. But not all boards have it. But some do, but not all. Hey, Sutterbridge, welcome. Welcome to not being banned. Too much glue. Yeah, I've really got to use a smaller nozzle for this stuff from Tim. Fortunately, I've got 3 tubes of this stuff, 30cc tubes. So I think it's going to last me a while. Because unlike some YouTubers, I don't really like to just splurge it everywhere. I don't know why I'm bothering trying to separate them. The very nature of the process that we're about to subject them to will bring them together. Oh, just stop it. Okay, they're really, really uneven. Hey, Clevo? Yes, Mr. Rossman type style. Okay, maybe it was just because it was a bad situation, but it seems like the flux doesn't really make them come back together so easily. I could be wrong. I need to do more testing. We'll try on this side now, because we've got to put another 4 back there. But it is nice flux, I'll tell you that much now. It, like I said, the lack of toxic smoke is very nice. And it's a genuine rosin smell. Hey, Catherine. Just gotta fix some things up here. Oops. Yeah. I'd say you should still get an extractor, of course. no matter how lovely the smoke is, it is still a combustion byproduct. Thus, you probably do want to have an extractor. No one's going to make you, but 50 years down the track, you might be wishing you did. Hey, Paul Howe. Welcome. Good morning. The reason why I try to avoid doing these individually is because, well, in theory, I like to only bring the heat in once. But as we've well seen, my lack of success with getting them to reflow properly means that it doesn't work out anyway. Yeah, see, straight away, bunching up. I'm just going to tap this one. Tap this one forward. Alrighty. Yeah, doesn't look pretty, but remember, as I said, this is a data recovery job, so we're good. But what we are going to do is just clean up that flux a little. And we're going to use the Joey technique, the Joey cheat, whatever. Alright, well, what's something you can see straight away there? Something a little bit obvious there that's not quite right. Or maybe it's not so obvious, I apologise. You got banned. No, the reason why a lot of people aren't mods that were mods and that I haven't got around to yet is because when I came back here, I basically stripped out all the mod statuses simply because I wasn't sure who was what again. So I'm starting back from scratch. So I'll get around to pumping up the people who need. Alright, that's fixed. And Darius. So yeah, I think I had something like 100 random people that were mods. And I pretty much left Pedro as the only mod. And one or two others. Straight off the top, and then I thought, right, I'll build back up from there. To be fair, mod status is more of a nuisance than it's anything else. People give me mods, I'm like, don't give me mods. It's like I don't want to have to be responsible for running your channel for you. Oh, I'm sure I'll forget. Don't you worry about that. This is where the Joey technique doesn't quite grab things. He's probably going, I'm doing it wrong, but anyway. When your microfibers aren't long enough to deep dive into the cracks. But yeah, he'll say, you're doing it wrong, man. It's kind of like when I watch him using my reballing techniques and it doesn't work out, and it's like, you did it wrong, man. Alright, so there was that other issue that we saw, and like I said, it's not likely to be a critical issue, but I do want to clean it up. There was that cap that had a bit of corrosion hanging off it. Obviously not those ones. There it is. It's the sort of thing that can end up just catching you while you're in the middle of a data recovery. Okay. So that is down here. I've got to keep reminding myself to use the mini map. It's much faster. So there it is there. 2.2, what do we want voltage though? 25 volt, 2.2. Yeah, the mini map makes things so much easier because you just go, oh, what's over there? Or what's over there? And if you want to pan around, you can just grab it like that. It makes life a lot easier. But it is one of those things that you just got to practice. Okay, what was that 2.2, 22, 25? 2, 25. Pre-mowing begins 20 minutes before feed. Wait, what? Feeding? Who am I feeding? What? Sorry, I'm confused now. I get confused easy, Catherine, I'm sorry. That probably could have stayed there, but we're in the process of removing it now. We've committed. Martin, you'll probably find those likes are lagged. Probably use more likes than that. Don't worry about it too much. It all comes good in the end. Yeah, Miles, that's why I ended up implementing the feature, because there was too many times I'd be deep in, zoomed in, and then I'd be like, where the hell am I on the board? And it was something that I wanted to implement for a long time, and I just kept putting it off. And then one day I did obviously finally do it, but I gotta say it was a more substantial project than what I was anticipating. It was surprisingly more complex to do. Because it's got its own behaviors and it's got its own rendering. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the whole drawing. Ah, crap. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Microscope view. There we go. We just replaced that. I'm sorry. But it probably took me about a week and a half to implement. So if we go back to commands, yeah, it took me about a week and a half to implement this, because everything is. It's similar enough but different enough that I couldn't end up using the code that's used for all this stuff. And there are small features like, when I hover over this part, you'll see that it highlights like the block there, or if we go to the CPU, just all these little things that make a difference. Wow, my screen's going dark for some reason. Why are you going dark, screen? Yes, Joey, you heard your name being called. You're famous, Joey. You're a wizard. Anyway, so yeah, all the different little things about it that had to be done differently. So it was almost like a complete rewrite. Anyway. But if I can get the dispensing amount of Tim's flux under control, then I'm pretty sure I'll be happy with that. Here we go. Joey goes again. And there you go. Perfect clean. Good job, Joey. Good job. You've contributed something to the repair world that is genuinely yours. What else have we got? I think at this point we're probably ready for this to go back as data recovery. I'm just going to go over, make sure I haven't missed any other nasty corrosion spots. Oh, there's a bit of junk there, but I'm not worried about that one. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Yeah. Yep. Again, it's probably not actually a problem, but I don't want it to become a problem. So yeah, Jerry, now you got to make sure that everybody respects it. You find someone else using that technique without attributing you, you got to go bust some chops. You're like, that's patented Joey's style job. You owe me $1. And if they don't give you the dollar, well, I guess you have to do whatever you got to do. Yeah, Joey tax, that's a good idea. Should fund the one of his suits. Maybe Joey should get an Asuka suit. Well, I don't know if he knows Neon Evangelion. Hey, Mountainside, welcome. Thank you very much. Okay. Once again, we've got to find out what the part is. Schematic. And yeah, we're in the right area. There it is. 2.2. It's another 2.225. Okay. Well, lucky you guys, eh? You didn't get to see the previous one, but you get to see this one. Joey, no, I can never do your accent, mate. I wouldn't dare do that. If I tried something like that, I'd probably get deported to Australia. These caps look a little bit funky, but they're just little Pico type caps. Not really a problem. This is a little bit more of a problem, but I think I can wash that off. About the only Englishisms that I can try and pull off are probably Moss from the IT crowd when he is chucking off at Cockney, and that's about it. Did you see that ludicrous display tonight? But really, I'm better with his normal voice. But Richard is a very special person. Honoured to have him as an actor. Although I don't think he acts. Yeah, that's fine, that is. Yeah, when he was in IT Crowd, I think that's the true Richard. But the episode with them watching football, soccer, that was fantastic. Alright, I'm just going to go out, clean up all this, get the dust out before I put that board back in. Hey Luna, how's you doing, girl? Don't you go snorting this dust, girl? Hello. Oh, what is it, buddy? What? What you doing? I gotta work. I gotta work because you guys won't stop eating, which is a good thing. Yeah, have some biscuits. Hey, Sabermetric. Alrighty. So we got the worst of the dust out. Good enough for it to have the logic board placed back in. Dun, dun, dun. Ah. Come on, antennas. You can do it. Good job. Something just flicked in my face then. It was rude and inappropriate. I mean, I imagine that when people get these back from the place that sends these to me, I imagine the customers do continue to use them for a while, even though they have had the data recovery. Like I said, as far as I know, the place that does this is strictly data recovery only. You're paying data recovery, the end. So at least they're very clear about what to expect from the outset. Did you replace the caps that were removed from the back of the board? Yes, I did, Draco. I did. All 8 of them. The only one I didn't replace was the PP bus one, which was the, what was it, 9018? I never remember its number. But it's the one that always corrodes. And the reason I didn't replace it is because it doesn't have a lot of influence on the overall stability. It's nice to have there, but also the pads that it was on, they weren't really viable to repair on. So it's a judgment call. And like I said, this is data recovery. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to just see... Oh, you know what? Almost forgot to do the important thing here. And that is to measure our rails before we start up again. 800, as long as you're 800 plus on that 2v5 NAND rail, you're in a good place, so that's good. And PP bus, again 1K, so yeah, all good. Yes, customers should stop using it, but maybe they can hand it off to some, a kid or someone else, or maybe it's a second machine, a backup machine, that kind of thing, which is fine. But definitely it's a case of you got lucky, particularly with this one, you got lucky. Be thankful for that, move to a new machine. Okay, privacy protection. Let's go and see what we get. Please get 20 volts without restarting. Okay, 20 volts, good start. 3, 4. Don't like it's holding on 400. It needs to ramp more than that. It's not restarting, but it is stuck on 400. We'll give it a little bit of time. It could be a very flat battery, but I'm a little bit concerned about this one. Just going to watch this bottom number down here. It's 417, 418. Okay, I think it's a very flat battery. See, it's 419, so it's doing a really small increase, but it is increasing, which means it's doing this one of the cells, or this all the cells must be below or very close to 2.75 volts, and so it's just really like just slightly pushing it, and soon we should see it skyrocket. It's an original battery in this one that I can tell. But so long as that bottom corner number, this one here, so long as that keeps just slightly creeping up. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, this bottom right corner number here. That's your indication that there is progress happening with the battery. Does the battery empty icon? I haven't tried that. Usually I try not to invoke anything initially. I just want to see how it wakes itself up. But it could well do that. What that bottom right corner number represents is just simply the lowest current drawn throughout the window that you can see in there. So the fact that it's creeping up means that overall the trend is up. Really, that would be more work for me than I'm willing to do. That's up to the person who I send it back to, the business place. They can deal with that. Dodoma, has it been that long already? Basically, yeah. I've been selling them, and now I've actually stopped selling them because I've done my production run and I've got no interest in building them anymore. Has it been that bad that you've missed out on that whole sort of section of in production, not in production? Here we go. Here's the proper stepping coming up. There we go. That's a lovely thing to see when the current starts up stepping like that. That's when you know you got proper go. Q's is pushing. I'm going to make Q's panic for a bit here. Yeah, Dodamaras, if you send me an email, I can organise one for you. If you need one. If you don't really need one, if it's just a personal thing, then I'll send you a signboard. Hey, grass puddle. Yeah, at least the battery's coming up properly there, so that's good. I need my water bottle. Where's my butt? I had it in here. I'm just going to go find my water bottle. I'm quite thirsty. Me. You want one? Okay. Alright. Send me an email, and I've got the parts here. I'm just not making them anymore. Baby. I've already licensed it. Ach nee, man. Alright. Okay, that's my micro insulin alarm. So I'm going to go give him insulin. And hopefully you get to see this boot while I'm gone. Just got to dry my hands so I can get the gloves back on. Surprisingly difficult sometimes to get fresh gloves on after you've taken them off. Ach, yeah. Okay, one done, one to go. Okay, 2 done. Is this thing booted? This thing has not booted yet. It should have booted by now. Hey Harold. Yeah, this thing should have booted by now, I reckon. What's going on? See if we can get a transition. Nothing on display. Okay, we've got a transition. I mean, I know it can take a while, but it's stretching it a little bit right now. Alright, well I might put it to the back here and get on with the next job. So if this thing's going to take its time to charge, then so be it. Yeah, the screen cable's connected and nothing's coming up on the USB-C port. And we're not getting any bong, not getting any fan spin. Ooh, did someone DFU this? That's a possibility. Let's have a look. Plugged in. Yep, someone put it into recovery mode. God damn, fuck people. Why do you do this? Okay, revive. Yep, that's what the problem was. Now I have to try and revive it. Fingers crossed it does revive. Because that's going to be a real pain if it doesn't. Okay. We've got a blast from the past here. Okay, we've got system install happening, so that's a good start on that. I better take this person's details off, because they don't imagine they want me to advertise to everybody who they are. Sorry about that, Frederick. Name changed for personal reasons. Just going to take this off. Oof, that sticky tape's pretty aggressive. We've got a fan spin, we've got an Apple logo. Woo-wee. That's good. Okay. 1466. What do you know? Good, wholesome, because I figure I've got 30 minutes to get this done. So, might be able to do a 1466 in that, but then again, sometimes you can get caught out. You get all kind of like, oh yeah, I can do this quick, and then you can't. So what is this? Laptop power on, screen remain black, but if you look closer you can see the screen. Alright, so we've got backlight failure of some description, or we have a cable failure, which also can happen on these. If it's a cable failure, it's actually cheaper, easier for me to just swap their screen. It's that point these days where there's no point spending the half hour or so just... Ach, nee man. There's no point going through the process of swapping out the cable from the internals of the screen when you can just swap the screen and you're done. Yeah, famous last words. Okay. What are you doing? So I'm just checking on this machine. Checking on the machine because it was doing the revive and now it's sort of stuck halfway. I definitely had the Apple logo, the fans were spinning, which is usually standard good news. But sometimes at the end of the process they just sort of go quiet and the AC2 configurator doesn't do anything either, it just gets stuck at that halfway mark, but it's actually completed. But you don't even know because it doesn't finish. Alright, battery. Well, we'll give it to the end of the job. Cable and connector look okay. So we're just going to let my muscle memory go through and disassemble this, because it's pretty much what it is. One device that muscle memory does not work for me anymore are the 4S and 4 iPhones. They have now fallen into the realm of having to double check everything again. But to be fair, they're complicated devices. So far as disassembly and reassembly went. I mean, goodness knows how many times everybody would forget to put the earpiece mesh in. That was torturous when you'd forget that. And of course people would try and jam it back through the earpiece hole, which would result in a cracking of the glass, which would result in having to redo it anyway, and you lost the display. I think the reason why with the batteries in regards to not having the simple screw-in systems is that people might have been complaining about the fact that the eyelets crack. I mean, personally, yeah, I'd prefer it this way and just replace, if you've still got the battery in there by the time the eyelets are cracking, the battery is probably due for replacement anyway. That's interesting. It's actually kind of stuck in there. Yeah, got it. Yeah, that sucker's jammed in there. Okay, what's going on? Something wrong with my system, I think. Maybe it went flat. Oh, that'd just be cruel. Okay, we've got a boot. No. What are you doing? We've got fan spin. Had fans. Oh, here it comes. Come on. Give me the beloved bong. Okay, we've got a low battery symbol, so that's good. That means it probably has now... It probably has now redone the firmware, so I'm sure it'll be good. Hopefully those are not famous last words. Lappy-san, I don't have WhatsApp and I basically don't do any collabs or anything like that in terms of actual work. I am what I am. I do my software, I do my designs, I do my repairs. I don't do, repair shop cooperations or anything like that. It's nothing personal. It's just I just don't work that way. I'm very much better off in terms of productivity and coming up with things if I just run alone, lone wolf style, I suppose. Alright, so this is a refurb board. This white sticker here indicates that the board has actually been replaced by Apple. So this is field replacement board, FRU, that sort of thing. Now sometimes they can be absolute hell, sometimes they're fine. I was running the extractor because I don't want that dust going into my lungs. Hey, what is it? Kona? Hello, Kona. Are you aware of age failings of you? Yes, I do know about the VRM failures on 1398s. Don't see them much anymore. Okay, so that's the backlight controller. So we basically need to work out whether we have fuse failure, a link failure, or a controller failure. Got a cough. Pardon me, sorry about that. Yeah, still come up battery symbol. That sucks. Yeah, I'm not social. Never have been. It's just the way I am, and I'm happy with that. I mean, I'm friendly, usually. I'm just not social. Bit of a difference there. Miles, it can't be an SMC failure when we've got a display coming up. Okay, diode mode, and we bring up, this is a 165, I think. Huh, interesting, I don't seem to have my board data on this one. That's much better. This is the pin that I actually want, and it's about 0.573-ish. Okay, so that looks pretty good. What about under here? That's not so good, that's shorted. So the pin on there looks to be shorted. Ach, yeah. I'm just going to go through that again for you. So here is basically LCD backlight, and we're 0.59, which is close enough to what it was after. It was after 0.5, 0.6. And under here is the feedback ball. And you can see the feedback ball is posting 0.0. It's basically a short circuit. So we've got a problem in the short circuit. In the chip, I mean the controller. Or at least it seems that way. But it also means that it's disconnected from there, so that's not good either. So we've got a double issue here. We're shorted and we're disconnected. So we'll tackle one at a time. These backlight controller chips are surprisingly tolerant to the amount of hot air you feed them. They don't want to come up very quickly. For a lot of people, this was probably their first BGA chip. The first thing they tackled, probably after watching a Rossmann stream. Okay, so we're open circuit now, which still isn't great. Yeah, see, open, okay, yeah, what? That makes no sense at all. Making a liar of me again. Open. Oh well, we'll stick a new controller on and see how it goes, shall we? This is a little bit like TriStar repairing, where you don't put too much effort into thinking about it, you just kind of do it. It was a good chip to start people on. You know, it was in a fairly robust area of the board. It wasn't an unwieldy chip in terms of number of pins. It was relatively available. You could just buy them. Like you can just buy them off DigiKey and things like that. I mean, if you want the special variant that they use, which has the smooth transitions rather than the step transitions, but I mean, you can modify the ones you buy from DigiKey anyway for that purpose. I just never do it. Oh yeah, we've got an Apple logo. Whee! Crikey, what are this? LP8550s, that's what they are. So yeah, it was a good intro chip. In fact, the whole 1466 is such an excellent intro machine. And the fact that they're still perfectly relevant today, I mean, I build Flex Board View on the 1466. Happy to report that this machine is up booting and all good. So it's another 1990 saved. Come on, be a little more generous. There we go. Naturally I forget which way the pin 1 is. Pin 1 is towards the notch, and yet I manage to forget that every time. I should, by rights, flatten those pads down, but I'm not going to bother. Like I said, some chips you really do have to go and flatten them down, yeah, the pads. On others, it's really not going to matter. There we go. Done. That's some nice even pancakes there. I think we can be pretty happy with those. It's the sort of thing you wanted. Yeah, because we might not have solved anything. I've just simply done the classic TriStar and replaced it for no good reason. 0.43. What do we want? 0.57. 0.43 is okay considering it's hot. With all the silicon junctions and everything that are on the board, when they get hot they drop their diode mode value. Okay. I'll just throw this in quickly to see if it even did fix it, or whether I just replaced it for no reason at all, and then just provide you guys with a bit of nostalgia. The good old days, the simple times. If this doesn't fix it, then I will do things like measure the voltage on the output pin and stuff like that to actually see what's going on. Q's, I did a 1398 keyboard replacement last night, and I can say this much: I never want to do one of those again anytime. 1466 keyboard replacements are, yeah, you can do them if you have to, but 1398s are just that bit worse, and they're not even the worst ones. But they're just such a pain because a lot of the rivets on the 1398 are in very difficult corners, and the rivets themselves, they're just less durable than the 1466 ones. It's a habit of dying a lot easier. So I was up till 1 o'clock last night drilling out flipping rivets. Not happy. Especially too that I didn't even ask for the job. It just got sent to me from a business place, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then by the time I realised, it was like too much time had already passed. Caught out by my own laziness, I guess. Okay, option. What's going on here? What the hell? You're not even starting now? Did I break something? Oh, there it goes. Oh shit, this is a 3437. Sorry, excuse my blasphemy there. Wow, 3437, really blast from the past. Oh, that's gonna need a completely different behavior. I really thought this was a 165. I didn't look. Still doesn't explain the behavior though. Because it did the on-off business, which it should, and then that was it. At least the upside is I can always replace these ones. No power at all. Okay, what's going on here? Let's try that again. Wow. Okay. Well, that's what I get for not verifying what the error message was. That's the trouble, though. You start to assume these things too much, and you're like, you know, I'm sure it will be that fault. And you go in, it's not that fault. No, all right. It's fine. It just became a little spicier, a little more interesting. This is where the FRU boards can become a problem, because FRU boards very frequently will actually drop dead after you rework them a bit. It's what they do. Okay. Alright, who the hell's taken my... Okay, so we've got my known working DCM board. Hook it up. Get the crappy magnetic bits off it. Okay, interesting. See how that just flicked on? Okay, so it's trying to get started and something keeps interfering. And this is where Miles starts laughing like a maniac because he's thinking, ha ha ha, it be the dreaded SMC. Although it looks like it's trying, as something else is shorting it out, so maybe I did a bad job on the backlight controller. Doesn't seem like I should have, but you never know. It looked pretty good to me. I mean, really, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's pretty damn good. Okay, this is the naughty phase now. We want to be sure that feedback line isn't in fact shorted, although this feels like something more because it shouldn't be shorting out that quick. Yeah, backlight doesn't even come up that quick. We hadn't even gone through the stop-start phase, but I still want to confirm this. Go 6. Yeah, that's fine. So we definitely don't have a short there anymore, but we've got it somewhere else. Alright, PP bus time. Are you shorted, Mr. PP bus? No, you're not. But you are running low, 160. And according to the board view and schematic... Okay, this is a 165, but the values are comparatively the same. And, what? 0.13, yeah, let's see. Alright, we'll load up the 3437. At 0.165 in diode mode. It's not too far off. It's a little on the lower side, but it's not too far off. Okay. The game is afoot. Time to look around. So it's not PP bus, but it's something else. So common faults on these can be the clock chip. Let's have a look at that. Clock chip. There's the clock chip. Yeah, it looks reasonably okay. We'll come back to that. HS105 CK. This is a 1.78, so it's a decent board. There's your other damn mark. When you see that sticker, that's just sticker of trouble. Stamp, I should say. Stamp, not sticker. Okay, we've got a bit of corrosion spotting developing here. There's a bit of junk just sitting there. Now, 3437s I don't usually associate with CPU failures yet. Oh, sorry. Thanks, folks. Yep, I really got to work on that piece of somehow working out how to differentiate between when I'm looking versus not looking. JTAG's fine. I suppose we could put the infrared camera on it. Just going to give it an angle look. This back edge here is the classic sort of area where if you're going to have issues, that's where it's going to be from corrosion. So SMC looks pretty clear. Yeah, this is fun. It's one of those the board looks pretty clear type jobs, which is not great. So I reckon, folks, throw this under the infrared camera and see if we can catch a pulse. Although it's pretty intermittent, so I'm not sure how successful that's going to be. May have to go all the way back to... There's a bit of corrosion on that cap, but I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, go all the way back to fundamental principles. Start walking our way through the power rails. Yeah, it's a very fast pulse. If it's strong enough, then it might jump out. And we just have to keep resetting. Well, what were those famous last words about this being a quick job? I should know better by now, not to taunt the universe like that. Yeah, unfortunately I do take my glasses off. The one thing I was thinking of was a proximity sensor just on somewhere on the head of the microscope, and that would be enough. Like you can have time of flight sensors, and if anything's shorter than say 10 centimeters, then consider it being used. So yeah, I might try time of flight sensors, or I could have just capacitive and coupling. Okay, Thomas, enjoy. Even though I know you're not going to. Alright, so everybody, so here we go. Oh, camera chip fired up. This is the other problem, is, yeah, they can, and it's interesting, the CPU got real hot then. Okay, ISL. Yeah, this is really weird behavior. CPU's getting scorching hot. Yep. But we've got no activity. So this could be a case of the dreaded, I touched it, now it's dead. Oh, now it's alive. Or is it? Nope. This is weird. .6 SMC is running. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It really does not make a lot of sense. SM bus, PPN, SO backlight, EDP backlight, PWM. Well, the EDP backlight PWM goes straight to the CPU. Sorry. Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's running 30, and I've got nothing on the Chipmunk. Yeah, Chipmunk is not showing a damn thing. Okay, here we go for the crazy time again. So it's a pretty vicious spike it's finding, that 3 amp spike. Whatever it is, it's very intermittent. I mean, the camera, the BCM chip is almost traditionally always one that gets that sort of hot effect. It's kind of like a wild goose chase, that camera chip. Actually, is that the camera? That's the ISL. Yeah, let's see. Harold, I'll double check that. We get momentary power, no 5 volt reg. Yeah, we're just getting momentary power spike, like really small pulses. But it doesn't make 5 volt. And then it goes away. So what is this? This is ISL? Yeah, that's ISL. $85.50 has merged balls in the middle. That's quite possible. I mean, I'll be surprised, but it's quite possible. I mean, it seems to be the only thing that would make sense to me. Oh, right, you guys aren't even seeing this, sorry. We've constantly got this. This my own dumb fault. Really is my own dumb fault. This, I should have checked, confirmed that it was a backlight fault before I did anything. But I guess what happens is when you've got boards like this and you know you've got quite a lot of other replacements, like I do have a number of 3437s, you sort of tend to jump in a little bit prematurely. So let's have a look, see if we do have merged mangle balls in the middle. I mean, it looks pretty damn good to me, but you never know. You never know. I mean, I didn't see it jump. I didn't see it, I didn't tap it or anything. But yeah, maybe it has got some merged. Now the trick will be for me to get this up without squashing anything. Nope, no mergings. Well, there's nothing wrong with those ones. But what we'll do is we'll see if it behaves differently now. It was something. It's definitely something about that chip, though. Oh wait, no. No, it's back to that flashy flash crap. There's something else on the board. Just eliminating things here. The other thing is, if it is doing the on-off business, which a 3437 should, it's taking too long on the first one to take it down. It could be a clock chip failure. as I said, this is a field replacement board, and this is what you sort of come to expect from them. When they fail, you usually expect them to fail in a way that is weird and well, sort of unfixable. Just going to check the diode mode on that. Should be 0.43 or so. The corner pockets were missing in the chip. Yeah, that's they just came up with the actual chip itself. 4.3. That's dead on perfect. Is this it? Which one's this? I can't remember whether this is the one that I just took off or not. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they just came up with the chip, so they're not actually missing. And more to the point, we're not even getting proper behavior right now. Realistically, I think I will just say install another board. I can't think of any good reason to try and dig around with this too much more. Hey Arnold G. You sort of got the tail end of it, unfortunately. 20 is about right. 3.3 is about right. Dark pads by SMC. Yeah, it's all this sort of thing. It's just surface corrosion. It's not even corrosion. It's kind of like you're talking about that one there. Let's go there. Okay, 0.4. Okay, that's fine. If this wasn't a FRU board, I'd probably have another look, but I'm thinking being an FRU, it's probably better off for me to walk the hell away from it. Just going to quickly check to see what my stock of replacements have got it. Come on. No. 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 to 2100. Nice. Trouble is I can't even remember if that one's a dead or not. Ha! Oh, that's sad. Come on. We've got to have other boards in here. Verification required. That's always confidence inspiring. 1.34, so that's definitely not even close to a match. That's hopeless. Fully tested, okay. 1.34, no good. We want a 1.78. I did have one, but I don't know if I've used it somewhere, which is going to be disappointing if I have. Yeah, nope. Okay, it's cloud locked. Not even the same boards anyway. Hey, Pedro's board. No, okay. So, not those ones. Let's check the other box. Just move this to the side. These are boards that I've saved for the day where I need to, yeah. Okay. I don't know whether these are, well, these are certainly not frickin' fixed boards. Those ones aren't. They've got chunks of metal missing from them and everything. Nope, definitely not you guys. What about in here? This kind of feels like a possibility. .44. Bloody hell. It seems to be the mainstay of my stock is the very worst of the worst. 1.44. Another 34, 37. Ah, come on. Surely I've got one decent one. A 1.7 i7 8 gigs. Oh, Amelia test. I remember this one. So we do have one. This is it. TMD, which stands for too much damage. And this is a 1.78. So it's the same as the Amelia test one. And what are you? Mystery board. But this is a FRU board, I can tell. Alright, so we do have a replacement board, so I think we'll just go that route. I'll inquire as to whether they have, what do you call it, software that requires the serial numbers. Actually, you know, I'm probably better off just matching the serial number. Save the chassis mismatching or anything like that in the future. iCloud locked. Oh, you're a 19 whatever. Cool. CD3217s. Okay, this is good. This is good because I now know I do actually have an iCloud 2179, which means I can use that other iCloud 2179 for parts to fix the board that I need to get fixed. So, good thing that we went through that. Alright, I think we're going to call it for the night. We found ourselves a donor board. And I think we'll take that route and save us fishing around on what the hell's going on with this one. I mean, I could dig into it, but yeah, what's the chance I'm going to find that fault in a hurry? It's going to be faster for me to just do a serial number transfer onto this one and then I'm out of here. Yeah. So I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Been at it for 2 hours. That's pretty much time for me to get up, go around. I've got stuff to do, got programming to finish up, got administration work to sort out. So we did get that A1990 fixed up, which was good, and that was a very lucky one. And like I said, very fortunate that the DFU mode process that they put it through didn't end up causing any drama, so we were able to just roll back from that. And of course the battery finally did charge up after that. That was a long time. And tonight we tried out Tim Herman's Elemental Dynamics. I think it's still Elemental Dynamics. His what's this one? 759 flux. It smells good. It doesn't misbehave or anything. I'll have to see. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, 759. High performance, no clean, tacky flux. Elemental Dynamics. But yeah, made by Tim Herman. So I'll keep using that for a while, since I've got 3 tubes of it, and it takes me a very, very long time to get through a tube. Over a course of a year, I'll probably get through 1/3 of this, maybe a half. It's not because I don't do a lot of jobs, it's just because I don't use a lot of flux. You've seen how I dispense it. It's just like the smallest drops I can, rather than just like, cover it or dip it into a vat of flux and boil it or something like that. Yeah, it's not my technique. Particularly with the new boards, you just can't afford to do that. So, okay, thank you all for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. I guess we'll probably have another one tomorrow night. I don't know. I've got a fairly large stack of machines. I don't know if you can just see here. This is a third of the stack. It's kind of what I wanted to get through today, and I didn't because of other things that came up. And that's sadly the way it often goes. You have the plan to get certain things done, and those plans just get thrown in the shredder. It's the way it goes. But at least at the start of each day, you plan to try and get something done. And hopefully, if you're lucky, you get some of that done, and at least you can try again tomorrow. Okay, thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Till then, you all take care, and I'll see you later.